Chioma, she always feel like, okay, she wants to make an entrance. I'm like, babe, nobody can outshine me when it comes to fashion. It's not a competition. We are not in secondary school. Being fake doesn't work for me. When they come, everybody's pretending like, fuck that shit.
I'm just tired of these women. Like, what the flipping hell is happening? These women, they don't tire me. They don't tire me, not be small.
Ryan Little.
Hey Bethans, what's up and welcome back to my channel. My name is Austin Betha. I'm so glad to have you guys here. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, kindly click on the subscribe button before you leave. Also give this video a very big thumbs up at the end or right now if you enjoyed watching the video. Now guys, please excuse my makeshift studio. If you've been following me, you would know where I am and you would understand why this video is coming late. And to be honest, I don't want to dwell on that. I just really wanted to come on here, gist with you guys and get back to, doing what I have to do, okay? Of course, this video is all about the Real Housewives of Lagos episode 6. And just in case you haven't seen any of the previous episodes, I'm going to leave all the links for you guys in my description box, just so you can catch up with it and know exactly what we're talking about, so that if we attack person, you will understand why and then maybe attack or choose not to attack. Okay, now guys, let's get straight into episode 6. This episode opened up with Laura and her friend Aisha, really talking about the whole fashion show, the runway. Of course, Aisha is the one who is more fashion inclined and she was the one that got all the models together, and it was just really nice seeing Laura excited. I mean, Laura was deeply excited, like, oh my god, it was her first runway show ever. And of course she was nervous, but she had a very good hand who is her best friend Aisha, and both of them watched the ladies just take the walk in their pieces and all of that. It was really exciting for Laura, and I was excited for Laura, to be very honest. Now the next thing they showed to us was Miriam having a meeting with Chioma. I mentioned to you guys in the last episode that Miriam had a conversation with Chioma, and this time around, Miriam just wanted to understand why Chioma wasn't at the brunch Laura had invited them to. And Chioma was like, oh, she was in Abuja. I told you guys this in the last episode, that her auntie was turning 60 and she had to be there, blah blah blah. She just gave her excuses and all of that. And for Miriam, it's like, okay, we can understand that you did not come, but why didn't Caroline come for the brunch as well? Is it because she's your follower? Like, if you don't show up for something, then she would not show up as well. And Chioma is like, first of all, I had no idea that Caroline wasn't going to be there. Like, they did not even speak about it. And let me say something very quickly before I forget. I really want to commend Chioma's ability to remain, I don't know what the word is right now, but she knows how to manage people. That's what I've noticed. You don't have to agree with me, okay? But Chioma knows how to manage people. I mean, she understands that there's this whole rift between Caroline and Miriam, and she also decided to have a conversation with Miriam at the same meeting. Like, okay, what's up? Now you've talked about me and Laura, let's talk about you and Miriam. Like, what's up? What's going on? And of course, Miriam explained how Caroline wasn't welcoming, how she tried to shake her at that pajamas party, and then Caroline shook her like this, like she had corona, blah 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 blah. And then Chioma is like, okay, have you tried to speak to her outside of that time? I mean, at the end of the day, she gave you this type of reception, you felt this way, have you guys spoken about it? And Miriam is like, okay, at the end of the day, let's just agree, you will bring Caroline to Laura's fashion show, and when both of you come, I would have a conversation with Caroline while you squash things out with Laura. And of course, for me, that was a very brilliant deal. Like, okay,
do you think that you can come for a show tomorrow? Tomorrow, probably you guys can actually pull yourself together, but I'm pulling Caroline together out on the side. You don't talk.
I was really looking forward to the fashion show. For one, I wanted to see what Laura would come up with, and I also wanted to see the drama that would probably unfold at the fashion show. And they had that conversation, and of course, for me, that was a nice conversation, to be very honest. Let's just make things clear. It was Miriam that actually invited Chioma and Caroline for the event, because it was her that clearly said, oh, Chioma, come, bring Caroline, blah blah blah. And for Laura, it's like, okay, if they show up, fine. If they don't, we move. Like, the fashion show will still hold without them, and I mean, I just really wanted to see the fashion show. Now, next thing was Toyin's 40th birthday. Of course, we've seen all of that on the internet, but yeah, it was recaptured on this particular episode. And of course, Toyin explained to us that for this particular birthday, she was dedicating it to her mom, and she wanted to celebrate it in a very different way. And by that, she meant going to a mosque somewhere in Obalende. And you know, of course, she went with a lot of goodies for the people at the mosque, seeing that her dad is a shehu at the mosque, and you know, his prayer and everything meant a lot to him, you know. So she obviously went there with prayer mats, prayer kegs, clothes, money, you know, just a lot of stuff for those people, because for her, they always appreciate whatever she gives to them, and you know, they always pray for her. And it was just a very beautiful sight to behold, to be very honest. There were a lot of people there, the queue was long. I mean, people just wanted to get something. You guys know how they do all these things. When you see people doing NGOs, you know, going out to share stuff, you see the crowd that usually comes there. And it was really exciting to see that both Laura and Miriam came to join her, you know, just celebrate. And of course, our very own Derele was also there. You know, of course, Derele and Tiannah, they go way back. And for Miriam, it's like, okay, you this madam Toyin, you did not tell us that, okay, oh, now street stuff. You just said mosque. And of course, she came in her, you know, jalabia and her turban, thinking, oh, we're going into the mosque, only for her to come, and it almost seemed like, oh, she wasn't properly dressed for the event. And for me, I don't think that was, you know, Miriam's fault. It was a case of not knowing exactly what they were doing at the mosque, you know, hence she dressed properly just in case they were entering the mosque. Laura on the other part as well was just like, oh my god, before they'll thief my bag, you know, she was really guarding her stuff, and it was just so funny. But at the end of the day, they all had fun. It was nice to see that they could all come out to celebrate, you know, Toyin's birthday the way she wanted it. Okay, now the next thing was, you know, Laura and her friend Aisha at the venue for the fashion show, just really setting up the show, because I mean, that was the day they had all been waiting for. And you know, of course, Laura was trying to make sure that they put things in order, which by the way, they started really late. You know, according to Caroline, the show was meant to start at 2, but they started around 8 p.m. and that's about 6 hours lateness. Like, oh my days, that's a lot. Okay, that's a lot. But anyways, we move. Okay, so yeah, Laura was there, you know, trying to set up, and then the next thing they showed to us was Chioma doing her makeup, you know, getting ready for Laura's fashion show, because yes, she wanted to grace, you know, Laura's event with her presence, you know. And of course, in the process of doing her makeup, she decided to call her bestie, you know, Caroline, over the phone. And in fact, at some point they turned it into a FaceTime call, and she's like, okay, let me see what you're wearing, you know, this and that. And then of course they moved away from that, and Chioma decided to have a conversation with her and, you know, just relate some of the things that she discussed with Miriam at their meeting to Caroline.
I did say to her that she should give you time to get to know her, and the onus is on her to make you feel comfortable to get to know her. And she somewhat agreed, and as a matter of fact has decided to host the ladies at her personal abode, so at her house, and she has actually asked me to extend an invite to you.
And you know, she was like, okay, Miriam complained about this, you know, blah blah blah. And then for Caroline, it's like, okay, I don't really know the girl. Am I supposed to just stand up and go and hug her? Plus, you know, you just came into a place for the first time and you're already playing games, doing threesome, talking about everything, things that were supposed to be for your own personal consumption. Nobody else should hear about it. You were just sharing. Like, for her, it was TMI. That's too much information, and it didn't really sit well with her. Besides that, the fact that Miriam always just come and start shouting, you know, bitches, 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 wait till it happens. And I remember talking to you guys in that episode about the fact that, you know, Miriam's own was just too much, and I could actually understand where Caroline was coming from. For Caroline, she's like, I'm a mom, okay? You don't just come to a place, you know, an open place, and start referring to me as a bitch. You know, it's not even like we've seen ourselves in a long time. You know, you don't know what mood I'm in, you just come shout, bitch, you know. Like, I could understand that though. And then Chioma was like, okay, fine, maybe you need to actually come to Miriam's house, because Miriam had invited them, you know, for dinner at her place. And you know, Chioma was like, it would be nice for you to come, you know, give yourselves the chance of getting to know one another. And this is the reason I said that I really love the fact that Chioma knows how to handle her friendships. You know, yes, I'm not friends with you, but I can still have a conversation with you, and even if you don't agree with my friend, I can still sit my friend down and try to talk some sense into her. Because Chioma actually mentioned to us that Caroline expects her not to talk to anybody she is not talking to, and for her that doesn't work. So she just wanted them to have that chance, you know, to get to know one another and all of that. And Caroline's like, okay, that's fine, I will come to her house, you know, I'll try to get to know her, but if I don't feel it, if I'm not feeling it, I'm out. And Chioma's like, okay, Caroline. Caroline, that's fine, but just give it a try. And yeah, that was the end of that conversation. They now agreed to meet up at Laura's event almost at the same time. Okay, now it was time for the fashion show to actually begin, and Laura made it known to us that first of all, she's not a very glamorous person. You know, she's not fashion inclined. She just wants to be comfortable, and since it's her clothing line, it just has to actually represent Laura. You know, there's no point releasing a clothing line that doesn't really tally with the kind of things that you wear. We've seen Laura dress up. She just wants to be comfortable. She says it every single time. So for me, I wasn't really surprised at the collection. It was just screaming Laura. And you know, Toyin also made that known, like, look, I'm a very eccentric person, and you know, just seeing this collection, it was screaming Laura. This is actually the reason why I did not understand some of the things that Toyin was now doing and saying, you know, during the fashion show. I will come to that. Okay, now the show started, and of course Auntie Iyabo was there with her daughter Priscilla, and both of them actually walked the runway. For me, that was everything. Okay, you know, Iyabo was looking nice in the two-piece, one mini skirt and you know, one crop top, you know, while her daughter Priscilla had this palazzo pants and a silk shirt. You know, both of them just walked the runway. It was really nice. Laura's son also walked the runway. It was really, really nice. And oh my god, the ladies had so much to say. You know, first of all, let's talk about Chioma. Chioma was like, oh my god, this is so underwhelming. Like, is this this is not even something I can wear out. I probably wear this at home or even wear this to sleep. I'm like, yeah, you saw I enter, you know, it was just really too much.
This sort of thing I would wear to stay home, possibly go to sleep. I would not wear this anywhere.
I can understand that, you know, the things she said were hurtful, and obviously it would hurt Laura's feelings if she ever heard them, but she was just speaking her own truth. Like, most of the things the ladies wore, you know, on the walkway were not things that I could imagine Chioma ever wearing. You know, nah, it wasn't. But again, she just respected herself, you know, just watched the show and was minding her business. But Auntie Toyin, on the other hand, you were there. You already said it from the beginning that, okay, this style is not my style. It is screaming Laura style.
Laura's style is not my style. Immediately I saw the collection and I saw the runway, I knew it was Laura.
You know, while the fashion show was still ongoing, you know, Toyin was there showing Chioma her own pieces. Like, for me, it did not make sense, and it didn't make sense to Chioma as well. Chioma was like, I can just smell competition. I can just smell all of that, because why on earth would you be showing me your own eccentric collection at your supposed friend's fashion show? It doesn't make sense.
Toyin showing me her pieces at Laura's fashion show is giving me competitive. My style is eccentric. If they say, Toyin, buy something from this runway, it was only the blazer I could relate with. I don't think it's the appropriate time to be showing me your stuff at your friend's fashion show.
And you know, Toyin kept on making comments like, why didn't they tell me to bring my son Jaden? You know, Jaden is the most this one on the walkway. You know, comparing her son to Laura's son, like, there's no competition, sis. Like, we understand you're a fashion goddess, like, yes, but can you not compare, you know, Laura's collection to yours? Can you not compare your son to Laura's son? Because it's not like Laura has ever done anything like this, neither has her son ever done anything like that. So can you just enjoy the show without having to bicker and just say, why didn't they tell me my son will come and do backflip? My son will... Sister, it's all right, okay? We understand that this is what you do for a living. This is your life. You know, your son Jaden does backflip, front flip, middle flip. That's okay, but can you just enjoy the fashion show? It's Laura's first ever fashion show. She has never done anything like this, hence the reason she wanted you guys to be a part of it in the first place, because she feels like, you know, your input would mean a lot to her. Matter of fact, she made you, Toyin, a judge. She said you should help her judge, you know, tell her what you think, and you're just there. Nah, that did not make sense for me, okay? That did not make sense at all. But guys, let me know what you think about what Toyin did and just her total behavior. Oh, by the way, guys, she was beefing Caroline the entire time. Like, they did not say hi to one another. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, I can understand that you guys are not talking, but wait, say Kosam. Waiting cause I go. They were not talking. They didn't even say hi. It was just really awkward. For Toyin, she felt like, you know, the pretense was too much. Because, you know, after the fashion show, the ladies had to wait behind just to chit chat and all of that. And even myself, I tired for the whole conversation. Because Chioma had already said, okay, I was underwhelmed. You know, this is not something I would like. Caroline felt like the only part that made sense to her was the Iyabo and her daughter taking the walk, and that was it. Now when they waited behind, Caroline was now saying, oh my god, I love the pieces, oh my god, I want to buy them, I said, that's not what you said before, ma. Like, okay.
When are we going to pack them? It's not there because I don't like to do stress.
I'm gonna shop from Laura today. I'm like, you don't even like Laura. Stop it. What are you doing?
What's with the pretense, really? And this is the only part where I kind of agreed with Toyin. Like, okay, no need for the pretense. If you do not like it, you don't have to buy it. Like, you don't have to, and you don't have to now make it look like, oh my god, it was top notch. No, it wasn't, ma'am. You did not like it. Okay, you did not like it, so you don't have to act as if no, you wanted to buy everything on the color. Like, that part did not make sense for me. Okay, like, it did not make sense. Anyways, after that, what's her name, Caroline left, Chioma left. It was just remaining Laura. Iyabo also left, with her daughter, so it was remaining Laura, Toyin, and Miriam. And Miriam is like, look, I spoke to Chioma, and she has moved on, so you need to move on too. And Laura is like, okay, it's not even as if me, I'm this or I'm that, or it's just I felt like she should have told me that she wouldn't be coming. That would have made more sense. Oh, by the way, before I even forget, what's wrong with Laura? Let's talk about that toast, okay? Because for me, it was cringe-worthy. I'm just like, ew.
So let's make a toast to... I wanted to say better French, but I just got Chioma.
Laura, you can do better. What's with this whole Chioma, making it look like, whatever it is you're doing actually revolves around Chioma. It was irritating. In my opinion, it was irritating. So after your show, you were chilling with your girls, and you guys wanted to have a toast, and you're like, oh, toast to better fresh. I was like, oh, no, let's not say it, though, because looking at Choma's face, madam, it's your event. Okay, it's your toast. Whatever you say they should toast to, they will. Okay, Chioma wasn't even saying anything. She was just there, ready to toast like every other person. Like, in fact, I agree with Chioma when she said that Laura is just trying to be her friend by all means, and she's going about it the wrong way, trying to just facilitate every single thing. Chioma. It almost seems like Chioma lives rent-free in Laura's head, and I agree.
Laura, it's your day. It's your fashion show. It's your event. Own it. Your whole entire existence cannot be about me. How can you give a toast and you're mentioning my name? I'm not even doing anything, darling. I'm looking at you ready to toast like everybody else. I honestly think that Laura's just seeking my approval. She clearly wants this friendship and she's going about it the wrong way.
Laura, can you just toast to the success of your first fashion show ever instead of toasting to better friendships and who cares? Really, who cares? Anyways, guys, back to the point where it was just remaining Laura, Toyin, and Miriam. Miriam was like, oh, so I'm inviting everybody to my house. I already told the girls. And, she even mentioned to them that if you come and you behave anyhow, I'll kick your ass out. I'll kick the bitch out. I'm like, Miriam, can you use another word? Like, in fact, you see the bitch that way? It doesn't scratch me for ear. Every time I just hit, I'm just like, not again, please. And I'm just like, no, that's too much. Which one is you kick them out? Like, kick them out as per waiting, bounce away you be. Like, and let me just tell you guys something here. Episode 7 is definitely going to be a banger because the fight that has already started to brew, is just going to really explode in episode 7. And of course, I'll be really excited to discuss that with you guys once they release that on Friday. I mean, yes, it's going to be released on Friday as usual, So yeah, that's basically what happened in episode 6. There was a lot of drama. Caroline saying, oh, Laura was this, Laura was that. How can she be so rude? How can she be so this? Someone that released, what did she call those things? Rags. I believe she called them. I don't know whether she called them rags or she called them nightgown or something. Like, she just really ridiculed Laura's fashion clothing line, and I really don't know, guys. I don't know. It almost seemed like, Laura complained about Miriam's menu at the dinner or something. Like, I really cannot wait to watch episode 7, and I know that you guys can't as well. But yeah, this is basically what happened in episode 6. Let me know if I missed out on anything, because I'm sure I probably did. I'm sure I did. Let me know if I missed out on anything. Also, let me know what your thoughts are from the beginning up until the very end of, you know, what we discussed today. Alright, thank you guys so much. I love you guys so much, and I really miss you guys, to be very honest. And thank you guys for all your messages, you know, praying for my dad to get better and all of that. It means a whole lot to me. He's getting better, and yeah, I'm happy. I'm thankful to God, and I'm thankful to have you guys. Alright, I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.